Hi there, my name's Allison, and I'm going to be talking to you about a website known as Quia. To be honest, I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it, but that's what we call it in my classroom. So as you can see here, that I have it directing you to specifically the activities involving mathematics, and that just really helps narrow it down. So upon going to this website, you can see it's not the most attractive and may turn you off at first in terms of using it as a place to gather resources, but I hope to prove you wrong and show you that it's actually pretty helpful. So what this is it's a place that teachers can share resources with each other. As you can see, when I have it narrowed down into the search here, it directs you to almost 2,000 activities for math alone. So let's narrow this down a little bit and start to look at some of the resources available to us. One thing I want to comment on here is you can see there is an ad for IXL. However, that is the only advertisement that's presented on this website. IXL is linked to whichever company produces this Quia, so that must be why this ad is here. So let me show you how you can narrow down. So I just picked subcategory to Algebra 1. There are lots of ways that you can narrow it down. Some of them are a little, I guess, unnecessary. This, for example, this Christine person must be someone who is a creator of some resources, but I just tend to ignore that and focus on the things that I do need or are useful to me. Activity type, I tend to leave that alone because I don't know what kind of activity I want. I want to just view them, have them generate, and then sort through them on my own without narrowing it down here in the search. I also do not narrow down in the textbook resource because other algebra teachers may use different textbooks and resources, but still applies to the same content. Okay, so with 400 Algebra 1 activities, still a lot of information out there. So let me narrow it down a little bit more, and I'm going to narrow this down to systems of equations and show you a few of the good resources here that I've used. Okay, so narrowing down to systems, that gets me down to 10 activities. And I'm going to show you 2 of them. But before I click into the activities, I want to show you just a little bit of what you're looking at here. It gives you a title of the activity, it gives you the author of who produced it, and apparently you're able to post as anonymous since this activity 4 doesn't have a name associated with it. And activity type. Now, some of these activity types are somewhat self-explanatory. For example, the rags to riches. I know from experience that this is like a who wants to be a millionaire type game. But let's say you're new to this and you didn't really know that. You can click on the activity type on any of them and it'll bring you to this screen, which gives you an explanation of what you're looking at. And I like this because it's short and sweet and to the point. So, and sometimes this happens. So this is one of the flaws I found about this website, where sometimes when I try to go back, it doesn't like it too much. Okay, but it's pretty easy to get through that. All right, so first I'm going to go to the Solve Systems by graphing this activity 5. And one thing that's a little odd, let me get back to this for a minute. I'm going to open a new tab so I don't get trapped again. If you notice, this close, what it refers to, C-L-O-Z-E, says complete the paragraph by filling in the missing terms. And what I found is that this is a bit misleading because the activity doesn't necessarily have to have a paragraph associated with it. With blanks to fill in, it can just be any form of fill in the blank. So this is one where students have to identify solution to given graphs, and it says for no solution, enter no solution. For For infinite solutions, enter infinite solutions. So we're going to play this game. And what I'll have students do is just pull this up on their own computers. I may post the link on my Blackboard page so it's easy for them to access. Have them go through just 8 questions, maybe as a summative exit assignment after we've discussed solving systems by graphing. So in this picture, what is the solution? You can see it's coinciding lines. So I have to type infinite solutions as it's given in the directions and check answer. And it'll give you immediate feedback on if you've gotten it right or not. And it adds a coin to the coin collection. So I'm going to go next. And here I have intersecting lines. And here's something I do like about this. Let me just type in, without parentheses, -1, 0, and click check answer to show you that it's letting me know it's wrong. So I like this because it's making the students pay attention to detail, that it's important to show that this is an ordered pair and to wrap parentheses around your points, and it allows them to fix it and select checked answer, and now to accept it as it being right. So I like the feedback it gives here. So I'm going to no solution. I'm going to try to go through these 8 questions quickly to show you what happens when a student's done. 4, 0, check answer. So it's not too picky in terms of, on that when I entered the points, I didn't put any spaces. Let me put some spaces here so you can see I've practiced this a few times and my answer is already there. Whoops. Talking and not paying attention. Next, 3 more. So -4, -3. Let me just go with this. Check answer. Next exercise. So it does give a good variety. The 3 types of solutions. Okay. Oh, because I skipped one. That's right. I think I skipped one, didn't go back, so it's letting me know I have one incorrect. Good job. I can start over. So maybe you make a requirement that you have to get 8 out of 8 coins, which is what I typically do. And they can start over, and even though it does pull from the same questions, it doesn't generate the exact same 8 in the exact same order. So it gives some variety, which is good. Okay. So that's one activity, and that was, like I said, a close, which is a little misleading because for me, it just noticed fill in the blank. Okay, so the other one, Systems of Equations Jeopardy, is one that I've used, and I'll allow students that if they would like to sit with a partner and enter in the 2 different partners' names and begin a 2-player game. And all that really does is just allow them to alternate in terms of picking questions to answer. And what I've done with this is supplemented it with a handout. So this would be reviewing systems of equations, systems of inequalities after you've taught it. And what I have here is my handout. So I have it pulled up with some blank space involved where students can fill in, do some work if they need to, or make a note on, I have them make notes on questions they struggled with, questions they did well with, so then in the end, it's their own little feedback guide in terms of what they need to work on or what they need help with. What you also may notice is the question dollar amount. So solving by graphing, this specific activity recognizes that it may not be as complicated as solving systems of inequalities, which are ranked with higher level points. So let's click on a couple of these. I'm going to click on systems of inequalities. And as you can see, this is a Java issue. Sometimes this happens. Let me close out and go into it a different way. As I was playing around with this issue was coming up, and then it updated a Java link and it seemed to fix it. but it's not fixing it now. So here's one of the issues. The inequality should show up here, and it's asking for the shaded region for them to select on. So here's a flaw to it. But other than that, it's pretty good. Here we go, solving systems of equations. So when I click here, the equations show up, and I encourage the kids to work alone and each solve it, and then they can compare their answers, and then they would submit it here, and the problem would let them know if it was correct or not correct. Now here it doesn't really give them a chance to fix it, it just shares what the correct answer is. Then click continue and it takes you back and it indicates what you answered already. So I hope that I showed you a resource that you maybe had not had exposure to before, and you found it helpful for some activities and things you can use in your classroom. Thank you.